Did you know that the Bible contains a verse that says there is no God? Or that one of its books was written by someone who couldn't even write their own name? These aren't mistakes or contradictions. They're just two of the mind-blowing facts that most people never learn about the world's most famous book. Today, we're diving into fascinating truths about the Bible that will completely change how you see this ancient text. The Bible isn't just a religious book. It's a literary masterpiece, a historical document, and a cultural phenomenon that has shaped civilizations for thousands of years. Whether you're religious or not, the sheer impact and intrigue surrounding this collection of writings is undeniable. So let's explore some incredible facts that showcase just how remarkable this book really is. Fact 1. The Bible was written by illiterate fishermen. Here's something that blows people's minds. Some of the most beautiful and profound writing in human history came from people who couldn't even sign their names. Take the apostles Peter and John. They were described in Acts 4:13 as unschooled ordinary men. These were fishermen from rural Galilee, not scribes or scholars. In the ancient world, literacy rates were incredibly low. We're talking about 3 to 5% of the population. Most people learned everything through oral tradition. Yet these ordinary men produced texts that have influenced literature, philosophy, and law for 2 millennia. It's like discovering that some of today's greatest novels were written by people who never went to school. Fact 2. The Bible contains its own contradiction on purpose. Remember that verse I mentioned about there is no God? It's actually in Psalm 14:1. But here's the catch. It's quoting what the fool says in his heart. The Bible is sophisticated enough to include opposing viewpoints to make its point stronger. This literary technique appears throughout the text. The book of Ecclesiastes contains some of the most pessimistic writing ever. Everything is meaningless. But it's presented as one perspective in a larger conversation about life's purpose. Ancient writers were way more nuanced than we give them credit for. Fact 3. The Bible predicted streaming services. Okay, not exactly Netflix, but Daniel 12:4 says that in the end times, knowledge will increase, and people will run to and fro. While ancient readers interpreted this literally, it's eerily accurate for our information age. We have access to more knowledge than any generation in history, and we're constantly running to and fro, whether that's our daily commutes or just clicking between apps. The Bible also talks about people being able to see events happening on the other side of the world simultaneously, something that seemed impossible for 2,000 years, but is now just called live television. Fact 4. The Bible's best-selling status is actually impossible to verify. Everyone says the Bible is the world's best-selling book, but here's the thing. Nobody actually knows if that's true. The Bible has been translated into over 3,000 languages and distributed for free by churches, governments, and organizations for centuries. Most copies throughout history weren't sold at all. Plus, defining the Bible is tricky. Catholic Bibles have 73 books, Protestant Bibles have 66, and Eastern Orthodox Bibles have even more. Are we counting them all as the same book? It's like trying to count sales of books with pages. The category is too broad. Fact 5. The Bible contains advanced scientific concepts. Long before modern science, the Bible described concepts that wouldn't be discovered for thousands of years. Isaiah 40:22 describes the earth as a circle or sphere when most people thought it was flat. Job 26:7 says God hangs the earth on nothing. A pretty accurate description of how gravity works in space. The Bible also describes the water cycle in Ecclesiastes 1:7. All streams flow into the sea, yet the sea is never full. To the place the streams come from, there they return again. This wasn't understood scientifically until the 17th century. Fact 6. The Bible was a multimedia experience. We think of the Bible as a book you read silently, but for most of history, it was performed. Ancient Hebrew and Greek were written without spaces between words, punctuation, or chapter breaks. Reading required speaking aloud to understand where one word ended and another began. Early Christians didn't have personal Bibles. They gathered to hear dramatic readings with music, singing, and responsive participation. The Bible was social media before social media existed. Fact 7. The Bible contains surprisingly modern advice. Thousands of years before psychology existed, the Bible was giving advice that sounds like it came from a modern self-help book. Proverbs talks about the power of positive thinking. As a man thinks in his heart, so is he. It warns against toxic relationships. Do not make friends with a hot-tempered person. The New Testament encourages what we now call mindfulness. Do not worry about tomorrow, for tomorrow will worry about itself. These weren't just religious platitudes. They were practical wisdom that modern research has validated. Fact 8. The Bible launched the printing revolution. When Johannes Gutenberg invented the printing press around 1440, The first book he printed was the Bible. This wasn't just because he was religious. It was a smart business decision. The Bible had guaranteed demand, and everyone already knew the content, so they could easily spot printing errors. This single decision changed everything. Mass-produced Bibles meant ordinary people could own and read the text for themselves, sparking the Protestant Reformation and fundamentally altering the course of Western civilization. Fact 9. The Bible contains different literary genres. The Bible isn't just one type of writing, it's an entire library. You've got historical narratives, poetry, legal codes, letters, prophecies, wisdom literature, and even apocalyptic visions. Reading the Song of Solomon, erotic poetry. The same way you read the Book of Numbers, census data, is like reading a love sonnet the same way you read a phone book. Understanding these genres is crucial. When Jesus says, "I am the door," he's using metaphor, not claiming to be made of wood and hinges. Ancient audiences understood these literary conventions better than we do. Fact 10. The Bible's survival is statistically incredible. Think about what it took for the Bible to survive. Copied by hand for over 1,000 years through wars, persecutions, natural disasters, and the rise and fall of empires. Most ancient texts exist in only a few copies, but we have thousands of biblical manuscripts. The New Testament alone has over 5,800 Greek manuscripts, 10,000 Latin manuscripts, and thousands more in other languages. No other ancient document comes close to this level of preservation. The Bible remains one of the most fascinating books ever created, not just for its religious significance, but for its literary genius, historical impact, and cultural influence. Whether you approach it as sacred scripture or as a remarkable piece of ancient literature, there's no denying its incredible story. These facts barely scratch the surface of what makes this book so extraordinary. From illiterate fishermen creating timeless wisdom to ancient texts that seem to predict modern technology, the Bible continues to surprise us. What fact surprised you the most? Let me know in the comments below. And if you enjoyed learning about these biblical mysteries, hit that subscribe button for more fascinating content about history, literature, and the stories that shaped our world. Thanks for watching. Check out this video about ancient mysteries, or this one about historical facts that will blow your mind. Don't forget to subscribe and ring that notification bell so you never miss our latest content.